Understanding multi-housing and condominium characteristics is essential for anyone involved in real estate, whether as an agent, investor, or resident. Multi-housing properties refer to residential buildings containing multiple separate living units, such as duplexes, triplexes, fourplexes, and larger apartment communities. These properties often share common features like centralized amenities, shared utilities, and on-site or professional management. Condominiums, by contrast, consist of individually owned units within a larger building or community, with each owner holding title to their interior space while sharing ownership of common areas such as hallways, pools, parking lots, and landscaping through a homeowners association, HOA. Condos typically come with covenants, conditions, and restrictions, CC&Rs, that govern property use and maintenance, and owners pay HOA fees to support shared services and repairs. Both multi-housing and condominium arrangements require understanding shared responsibilities, maintenance obligations, and community rules. But the key difference lies in ownership structure. Multi-housing units are generally owned and managed by a single entity or landlord, while condominiums involve individual ownership with collective oversight through an HOA. Understanding the unique characteristics of townhouses and planned unit developments. Building on our understanding of multi-housing and condominium ownership, it is equally important for Arizona real estate professionals to recognize the defining features of townhouses and planned unit developments, PUDs. These property types share some similarities with condominiums, but also have distinct legal, architectural, and ownership characteristics that impact how they are marketed, financed, and managed. Competency in distinguishing these forms of ownership ensures that licensees can properly guide buyers, sellers, and investors while complying with ARS. Title 33 and AACR 4-28-1101, which emphasize accuracy and full disclosure in all real estate dealings. A townhouse, also known as a townhome, is a multi-level residence that shares at least one or two walls with an adjoining unit, but is individually owned. Unlike condominiums, townhouse owners typically hold fee simple ownership, meaning they own both the structure and the land beneath it. This distinction carries significant implications for financing, maintenance, and insurance. For instance, townhouse owners are responsible for maintaining their unit's exterior, roof, and any exclusive use areas, whereas condominium associations generally assume those responsibilities collectively. A competent licensee must be able to explain this difference to clients, as confusion about maintenance and insurance obligations can lead to disputes after closing. The CC&Rs may state that the HOA will take care of the roofs and outside paint, as well as the common areas. Arizona law recognizes that townhouse ownership often exists within a larger planned unit development, a community that integrates various property types, single-family homes, townhouses, parks, and shared recreational spaces, into one cohesive design. In a PUD, the homeowner owns the lot and structure, along with an undivided interest in shared common areas, such as greenbelts, playgrounds, or private roads. This shared ownership structure requires participation in a homeowners association, HOA, which governs the community through bylaws and CC&Rs, covenants, conditions, and restrictions. These governing documents dictate everything from architectural standards to maintenance responsibilities and assessment payments. An example of this ownership model is a townhouse community in Chandler that includes shared amenities such as a pool, walking paths, and gated access. The owner is responsible for their home and lot, but must also contribute to the maintenance of community spaces through HOA dues. If the HOA intends to levy a special assessment for road repairs, competent licensees must ensure that buyers are informed before closing, as required under ARS Section 33-1806B. which mandates disclosure of any planned or pending assessments in homeowner associations. Another key difference between condominiums and townhouses within PUDs lies in title and insurance requirements. Because townhouse owners hold title to the land, the lender typically requires a standard homeowner's insurance policy, HO3, covering both the structure and land, whereas condominium owners usually carry a condo policy, HO6, that covers only the interior of the unit. A licensee must confirm which type of ownership applies before advising a client about insurance coverage, as providing inaccurate guidance could constitute incompetence under Arizona Revised Statutes Section 322153. PUDs also play a major role in municipal land use and zoning. Developers who create PUDs work with local governments to establish a master plan that blends residential, commercial, and recreational uses, while maintaining compliance with zoning ordinances. These developments often offer increased design flexibility and density allowances in exchange for enhanced community amenities. A licensee representing a buyer or investor in a PUD must understand that these properties are subject to local zoning approvals and municipal oversight, meaning certain changes, such as building an addition or altering landscaping, may require HOA and city approval and permits. For instance, if a buyer purchases a townhouse in a PUD in Scottsdale and later wishes to install solar panels, the agent should explain that approval from both the HOA and city may be required. Arizona's Solar Rights Act, ARS, Section 33-1816, protects homeowners' right to install solar energy devices. But HOAs can still enforce reasonable placement and aesthetic standards. Competent agents balance this understanding of law and local regulation when counseling clients, ensuring compliance with both consumer protection laws and fair housing principles. Townhouses and PUDs also present unique considerations in financing. Lenders evaluate factors such as the type of ownership, HOA stability, and maintenance responsibilities when underwriting loans. A PUD with strong financial reserves and low delinquency rates is generally viewed favorably, while a development with poor management or pending litigation may create financing obstacles. FHA and VA loans, for example, require PUDs to meet specific project approval standards, including proof of adequate insurance and reserve funding. Agents must understand these nuances to properly prepare clients for the financing process. In other words, the project itself must be a VA or FHA approved community. Review summary. Townhouses and PUDs bridge the gap between single-family homes and condominiums by combining individual ownership with shared community amenities. Townhouse owners hold title to both the land and structure, while PUD ownership includes shared interest in common areas maintained by an HOA. Licensees must understand the implications of these ownership forms on maintenance responsibilities, insurance requirements, and financing conditions. Knowledge of relevant laws, such as ARS Section 33-1806 HOA disclosure, ARS Section 33-1816 solar rights, and ARS Section 32-2153 professional conduct, is critical for compliance. Competent agents use this understanding to guide clients accurately, prevent misunderstandings, and promote transparency throughout the transaction. Discussion prompts. How does townhouse ownership differ from condominium ownership in Arizona? Answer. Townhouse owners typically hold fee simple title to both the land and structure, while condominium owners own only the interior of their unit and share a percentage of ownership of the land and common areas. What disclosure obligations exist under ARS Section 33-1806 for PUDs? Answer. Sellers must disclose any planned or pending special assessments and provide buyers with HOA documents, including bylaws, financial statements, and CC&RS. Why is understanding the Solar Rights Act important for licensees working in PUDs? Answer: because it ensures that licensees can accurately explain homeowners' rights to install solar devices and the HOA's authority to regulate placement or aesthetics. Closing remarks. Competency in Arizona, real estate extends beyond understanding property types. It requires the ability to connect legal requirements with real-world practice. Townhouses and PUDs represent a hybrid of ownership rights and responsibilities that combine private control with community governance. Licensees who master these distinctions enhance their professional credibility, protect their clients, and uphold the standards of practice established by the Arizona Department of Real Estate. By understanding not just what these property types are, but how they function under Arizona law, agents ensure every transaction is handled ethically, lawfully, and intelligently.